Hey guys, it's Gary from Rise of the Gay Cinephiles. Just giving a trigger warning that given some of the films within the era we're discussing, these episodes may include discussions surrounding sexual assault and various types of discrimination. And I'd also like to give a disclaimer that although we've done our research and watched many films for this season, we haven't watched every single Millennial teen film. As difficult as it was, we've somehow managed to narrow it down to the most relevant ones. But if we've missed any out that are your favourites, feel free to give us some recommendations. Enjoy the show. Hello, welcome to Rise of the Gay Cinephiles, the show where we, two gay cinephiles who watch way too many films, discuss various themes and eras of cinema. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And for this season, we're making our way through the teen cinema boom of the late 90s and early noughties. Welcome back to Scream As If You Know 10 Things I Hate About Bandcamp, or how millennial teen movies taught me everything I know about sex, friendship, and the American dream. And welcome back to our new Friday podcast.
Yes.
We just fancied a change.
Yeah, just change it up a little bit.
And we're no longer Tuesday girlies, we're now every 2 Fridays. So this episode is quite an exciting one, quite a kind of unexpected one, if I'm honest. Unexpected in that there's a certain theme that
Yeah.
but we'll get to it. We don't, we don't want to spoil it for you immediately. First of all, what's new with Chris and Gary?
My favourite, and I think it's probably might be yours.
Well, what else have we watched first?
Okay.
Let's build up.
Is that how we do? I always forget how we do this.
Let's build up to it. Ratatouille. We watched.
Okay. Yeah, we did.
For the
first time. Don't judge.
Shocking it's taken us this long, especially means my favourite film is Everything Everywhere at Once, and there's a ongoing joke about Ratatouille in there.
And now you get it.
And now I finally get it. We watched They Will Kill You, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, very similar in tone and plot to what's that one called?
Ready or Not.
Ready or Not. So it's interesting. It came out so close to Ready or Not 2.
Yeah.
Really fun film. Wacky. Very akin, in my opinion, to Evil Dead 2 in many ways. So if you like that gory, over the top humor, then definitely for you, They Will Kill You.
Yeah. We also watched Twinless, finally. It feels like it's taken forever for it to be released in Manchester.
Has it been released elsewhere?
It got a London release earlier this year, Glasgow release.
And America
last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, we finally got Twinless and it was incredible.
Yes, it was really good. Darkly comedic at times, which I enjoyed.
Amélie.
Yes.
Is life-changing stuff.
Finally. What a wonderful, whimsical film that is. I'd recommend it to anyone. And I would probably, and I say this having only just watched it, it's one of those formative films that I think you should watch as early as possible. Like, if I'd watched that at 15, I feel like I would have watched it over and over and I will going forward, but I think I really would have made that my personality for a long time. So good.
Yeah. One for me that I watched on my own is Undertone, which is a big highlight. Very, very creepy. Absolutely just for podcast recording what Jaws did for water.
Oh.
But I'm certain that our highlight is a shared highlight.
Of course.
Our new release highlight is, of course, the drama.
The drama. Do not want to give too much away. If you have been lucky enough not to see all the memes online, I highly recommend you go into this blind.
Yeah.
You go in not knowing, and it's not a twist, it's a plot. You don't go in knowing the plot, just watch it and be horrified / tickled.
Yes.
Comedically It's absolutely hilarious at times. Absolutely hilarious. A dark comedy, yes, but laugh out loud, hilarious, so good, and a great performance from from everyone involved. Actually, there's some supporting performances that are really, really good, but great performances from Zendaya, who's slowly becoming one of my favorites. No, not slowly, quickly becoming one of my favorites. Apologies, Zendaya. And then Robert Pattinson, who's been doing some great work recently as well. So, highly recommend the drama. And I just want to give praise also to their marketing team. They did a stellar job.
Yeah.
Stellar job.
Absolutely. But taking it from new releases and going back a few years, we are now heading back to, for the first of our two-part special, 1998. That's the year, and the best-selling album is Believe by Cher.
Oh, of course.
The best-selling video game is Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, and Pikachu.
Nice.
The highest-grossing film is Armageddon.
Right. I haven't seen it. Have you?
No, I have not.
ITV2 classic.
That's strange, because I don't want to miss a thing, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, I fucking hated that song.
The most viewed TV show in America is ER. And in the UK, it's FIFA World Cup, England versus Argentina.
Oh, my favourite.
Best picture winner at the Oscars is Titanic.
Of course.
Important events around this time, though. What was going on?
So in 1998, it was quite a busy year. So on January the 20th, the popular TV show Dawson's Creek premiered.
Oh.
And I think that has a big influence on quite a few of the films we'll be discussing later on.
Yes.
The teen TV drama and that them becoming movie stars. On January the 25th, Victoria Beckham gets engaged to football player David Beckham. On January the 26th, after allegations of an affair with White House intern Monica Lewinsky, US President Bill Clinton claims, and I can't do an impression, and I won't do, I want to say one thing to the American people. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Monica Lewinsky. Spoiler alert, he did. February the 4th in Brussels, Belgium, Bill Gates gets a pie thrown in his face.
Yes.
Just thought I'd add that in because it's been pissing me off recently. On February the 20th, the movie box office in the United States reaches its quickest $1 billion ever. And it took only 51 days.
Oh. From a bunch of films together or just one?
Well, there's one film that really helped that.
Was it Armageddon?
No, because on March the 1st, the film Titanic becomes the first film to gross $1 billion US.
Okay.
But that came out in 97. But yeah, in 1998, it took only 51 days for the US box office to reach $1 billion. And that's something we'll see grow and grow and grow. And now there are films out there, if they don't reach $1 billion, they're a flop. On March 9th, rapper Eminem is signed by Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment Company. I think that's interesting because for me, Eminem, I sort of put him into the same category as American Pie.
Yeah.
Like that late 90s, immature, popular, kind of misogynistic shit.
Yeah, which goes hand in hand with one of our honourable mentions.
Absolutely. On April the 10th, the British and Irish government signed the Good Friday Agreement for Northern Ireland. On April 17th, American photographer, musician, and wife of Beatles star Paul McCartney, Linda McCartney, passes away at the age of 56. I distinctly remember that. I think it's
how is she still making sausages?
I know. Those are some fucking good sausages. Linda McCartney, her legacy should be those sausages. They are really good. On May the 14th, the very last episode of Seinfeld airs. On June the 6th, the sitcom, excuse me, I copied and pasted this. I cheated. I don't think it's a sitcom. The series Sex and the City premieres on HBO in the United States.
Well, that is huge news.
On June the 25th, Windows 98 is released by Microsoft. The iconic Windows 98. On August 25th, the debut album by Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, is released. Probably one of my top 10 albums of all time.
Mm-hmm.
On October 23rd, Baby One More Time, Britney Spears' debut single, is released. And for the year 1998, the US movie box office hits a record $6.24 billion. So I think 1998 is...
a huge year.
A huge year for box office.
Mm-hmm.
And I think over the next almost 30 years, we'll see more and more emphasis on box office and box office returns.
It's a huge year for pop culture as well. I mean, Sex and the City being launched.
Mm-hmm.
1998, the year that Carrie first met Big.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the amount of things that would be inspired by Sex and the City going forward, we'll probably see that within this podcast as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Windows 98 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we've mentioned it before, but during this period, we'll see the internet take over. We'll see, teens on computers a lot. Within the films, and so it's a real sign of the times. This added online space for these teen films we'll be discussing.
Well, for this first part of 1998 for our film highlights, we actually have a gay special episode.
Yes.
Something that when we're putting the season together, I don't think either of us expected.
No.
But as we were looking at the films from 1998, we were like, okay, this makes sense. Let's group the queer films together, and have a look at it from a 2026 perspective, because it's incredibly interesting.
Yeah, and I think it'd be interesting for us to look at sort of the gay aspects specifically, and what that tells us about teen movies at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of these are bigger films than others. And yeah, it'll be interesting.
Well, first up of the four highlights is the opposite of sex.
My name is Dee Dee Truitt. I don't have a heart of gold, and I don't grow one later. Everything was going great until she showed up.
I knew you were trouble.
Where's the money?
God, she's the human tabloid. Well, that can't be good for the baby.
Not only that, she's going to smoke a cigarette after.
Christina Ricci, Martin Donovan, Lisa Kudrow, Lyle Lovett, Johnny Galecki, and Ivan Sergey, The Opposite of Sex.
Now playing.
Written and directed by Don Roos, starring Christina Ricci, Martin Donovan, Lisa Kudrow, and Lyle Lovett. And the premise is a 16-year-old girl visits her gay half-brother and ends up seducing his boyfriend, first wreaking havoc on all of their lives. Alicia Silverstone was originally cast as Dee Dee.
Oh, okay.
And a musical adaptation of this film has been made as well.
Oh.
Which is incredibly interesting, and I would very much like to see that. But most importantly, what is your history with this film?
My history with this film.
Because also, we forgot to say what was going on with us in 1998.
Oh,
for me, this is the year I discovered Star Wars. So I'd watched Return of the Jedi, and I became obsessed with Star Wars, and that pretty much took up everything in that year.
Yeah, 1998. I think I remember it a little more. I remember I was in year 5 at school, and I distinctly remember getting hit in the face by a ball at one point, like really hard, like real proper, like embarrassed. That really hurt. My face is red, kind of hit by a ball. But I probably the year I discovered wrestling. Well, actually, we'd sort of watched a little bit of it, but like properly watched it on a weekly basis, sort of 98 into 99. So that, yeah, I mean, that was a big part of my childhood, I suppose. Way too young to watch when you think back on it now. Way too young, but yeah.
So when did the obsession with this film begin?
So it wasn't an obsession with this film. So this happened later. So this was after I went to secondary school. So this is probably a few years later. But I was obsessed with Friends. Loved Friends. Loved everything about it. Was obsessed. Bought all of the like stationery and everything. Had it all on VHS. And Lisa Kudrow was in this film. And I found out that Lisa Kudrow was in this film. And I said to my mum, please buy me the VHS. And she bought me the VHS. And I watched it. And it was like super gay. Like, it's super gay. And I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed Lisa Kudrow in it. And one time I had a group of friends over from school for a sleepover, and male friends, and I'm assuming I don't really talk to them anymore. I'm assuming they were hetero and still are hetero to this day.
You never know. This could have changed them.
Or I helped them discover themselves. I may have helped them discover themselves, because as they were going through all of my VHSs to watch a film, they decided that this was the one that they wanted to watch because Christina Ricci looked very attractive on the front cover. And I said, no, you don't want to watch this. No, you don't want to watch. No, this isn't it. This is not the one that you want to watch. And they were adamant. And so we ended up watching The Opposite of Sex. A really, really fucking gay film. And I'm assuming something clicked. That they're like, why do you own this film? So if I'd helped any of them come out, then congratulations to you. But it was super fucking awkward.
Please write into the podcast and let us know if Chris made you gay.
Yeah.
Or Christina Ricci.
Or Christina Ricci made you straight. Because Christina Ricci does look fantastic in this film. And, I mean, she was age appropriate for us at the time, so...
Yeah, Christina Ricci fully dedicates everything to being the biggest bitch possible in this film. She gets my F-slur pass, and she certainly uses it a fair bit. But, oh my god, this film is incredible. She feels like Christina Ricci, for the first 2 times on this episode, and the second time being a little more valid, obviously, but feels like something straight out of a John Waters film.
Yes, yeah. So this is queer director and writer, and this is almost a sort of Lolita trope, which were quite popular during the 90s, a kind of different kind of femme fatale for the 90s, and she literally comes in and just fucks everything up.
Yeah. Because
she feels like it.
Yeah.
Because she's a bit angry at the world, and she just really feels like ruining people's day. The tagline is, you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be offended. And it is. The humour is jet black.
Yeah.
It's really, really dark humour. Not, I don't think, in an edgy kind of way, in a look at these fucked up people kind of way.
Yeah.
And you laugh, and it's over the top, and it's melodramatic at times. So you don't really necessarily take it all seriously, which makes for a really great time. I think Christina Ricci, she was rightfully nominated for a Golden Globe.
Yeah.
Best lead performance in a musical or comedy. And I think she is the highlight. It's her film. Her performance and the narration that she does is hilarious. So out there. It is out there, and you're like, oh my god. But if you are not easily offended or horrified, there is a hell of a lot to enjoy
One of the top reviews for this film is if we took all the homophobic conversations out of the script, we'd only get 3 minutes of film. And I actually strongly disagree. I actually don't think the film is homophobic. I mean, first of all, as we said, it is written and directed by a gay man. Christina Ricci is a massive ally. I'm certain Lisa Kudrow probably is as well.
Yeah.
I don't think this film is homophobic. I think it's easy for the people who look at films at face value, it's easy for them to take this as it is homophobic because this character's homophobic. But actually, I think this is way more nuanced than that. And, you know, there's homophobia in it because homophobia existed.
Yeah.
Homophobia still exists.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's not saying gay people are bad.
No. I think it's more of a film about ignorance. Homophobia comes from ignorance, but what is important is showcasing and humanizing queer characters.
Yeah.
Showing their good and bad sides, and I think sort of by the end of the film, it's not 100% clear and sort of perfect. You know, she does say something very very dark at the end of the film, but she's coming around to, you know, accepting queerness and, you know, learning. Like, she's a 16-year-old from, you know, a very poor background, and yeah, I think it's a nuanced sort of thing, and a lot of it works for the dark humor, but I think it's for the wackiness that happens at times. I think parts of it are quite grounded in that sense of, well, yeah, she would be ignorant. She would say very ignorant things. People would be very ignorant. I mean, this is 1998, and it's set in quite a conservative town. So, yeah, people would be ignorant. That's what people had to deal with.
Yeah.
And still to this day as well.
No, absolutely. When it comes to queer cinema, there's a lot of tropes that are used time and time again. And what I find really amusing here is that it takes the trope of the straight girl getting her heart broken and completely flips it on her head, because it happens so much. But here, Christina Ricci, you know, purposely goes after her gay brother's boyfriend. And Lisa Kudrow, who's a massive scene stealer, she's obsessed with getting with her gay best friend, who she knows is gay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it really flips it on its head. And this Lisa Kudrow storyline is one of the biggest highlights of the film. It's so funny. She's one of the greatest comedic actresses of our time, and she really shines through here.
Yeah.
She's so camp.
Fantastic. She's a very lonely person as well, and so she's able to show vulnerability and humor at the same time, which is difficult. I assume I'm not an actor myself, but I've seen enough films to know that must be a difficult thing to do. I watched it quite a few times. I was a little obsessed with it back in the day. I was. I suppose in many ways it did that. This and coming up soon, Cruel Intentions were films that I rewatched a hell of a lot.
That explains so much.
Yes. But yeah, I'd absolutely recommend The Opposite of Sex. What do you think of the title? I've seen a few things about the title being sort of about the opposite of sex. The opposite of sex for sex's sake is love, is companionship, friendship. And do you think that sort of that's what the film's about more than sex?
I think so, yeah.
Because the only real difference that separates homosexuals and heterosexuals to a certain degree fundamentally is who we have sex with or want to have sex with.
Yeah.
And so when sex is taken out of the equation, what do you find?
Mm.
You know, someone like Lisa Kudrow's character, she never really had that sex part. She
No.
was longing for something else.
It's interesting. I never really looked at it like that.
Yeah, because it's easy to get lost in the dialogue and the dark humor, the black comedy, that you kind of miss the heart of the film.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a shame, really. I think it's flawed in some ways, you know, but I think overall it is maybe lighter than people think.
I think so. Well, this was quite surprising, actually, but that's an IMDb rating of 6.4 out of 10. Letterboxd rating of 3.1 out of 5. I give it 4 out of 5.
I gave it 4 out of 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it is just a really great queer film that people need to see. Before watching it, I was horrified. I was fully waiting to be so offended, but it did the complete opposite, and I really think it is worth seeing.
But do you think it's one of those? If a straight filmmaker had made it, we would have been horrified.
Yeah. The fact that it's made by a gay man, it really makes a big difference.
Yeah. So if the call's coming from inside the house, it takes on a different. It feels different.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
The soundtrack, I'm gonna give it 10 out of 10, and I'm gonna say the best needle drop is "Looking for Love" by Jeannie Stoll, but that is a stretch because there aren't that many needle drops, and the 10 out of 10 I'm giving is actually for the jazz score.
Yes.
Which is phenomenal.
Yeah, I completely agree. I gave it 10 out of 10 as well. And that is really the only song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fashion rating, I'm going to give it 8 out of 10, but mostly for Christina Ricci.
I give it 6 out of 10. Most of the outfits are casual, but that
the funeral
Elvira style funeral outfit is iconic. And do you know who absolutely would have given Christina Ricci in this film 10 out of 10 for inspiration?
Who?
Sky Ferreira. Do you not think at times, particularly at the funeral, she looks like Sky Ferreira?
That's true. Believable teens.
Well, Christina Ricci is technically the only teen in the film of note. And Christina Ricci, I think, looks like a teen. She's always looked younger.
She's always looked young
than she was. I think she was a teen, though. To be fair, I think she was only a couple of years older than she was playing. So, yeah, she's always had a very youthful look, Christina Ricci. So it's a yes from me.
Okay, so from gay men to lesbians or the bisexuals. I don't know. It's 1998. Back when people pretended bisexual people didn't exist. But I don't know.
That is one thing about the opposite of sex, though. He was a bisexual character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of the most chaotic bisexual films you'll ever see. It's Wild Things.
After tonight, we're not to be seen together. In a game of desire and deception.
They're getting away with $8 million.
3's company. And 4's a crowd.
You don't think Ellie and Sam are going to share that money?
Oh my God, there's more to this story. There's no one to trust.
Kevin Bacon, Matt Dillon, Nev Campbell.
Don't touch me!
I'd want to keep a close eye on my new friends. She's going to blow it.
Wild Things.
Yeah, or wind up dead.
Directed by John McNaughton. Rated R. Opens everywhere March 20th.
Directed by John McNaughton. Written by Stephen Peters. And starring Kevin Bacon, Matt Dillon, Nev Campbell and Denise Richards. Back again. The premise is a police detective uncovers a conspiracy behind a case involving a high school guidance counselor when accusations of rape are made against him by 2 female students. And this is a film where a dead body was found on a set.
Oh my God. Before
the filming of an outdoor scene by the river, a gaffer was fixing the lights and noticed something floating by the river, which was a dead body. And they removed it. Kevin Bacon. Now, there's one thing that I know we have discussed this before. You'd have heard this trivia before when we discussed it for an erotic thrillers season back in the Horror Cult Trash Over days. But and I know this is a teen season, but putting a focus on Kevin Bacon slightly here because it's a massive part of this film. Emphasis on the massive.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon, who has a no nudity clause, said his full frontal nudity was accidental. In neither regions were in his never regions were never supposed to show up because he thought Matt Dillon was blocking the shot. But director John McNaughton told the Huffington Post how Bacon's manhood made an unintentional cameo. He said Kevin steps out of the shower and Matt throws him a towel and he catches it and it covers him. And he did it in every take but one. It was a little miscue and it didn't cover him. When McNaughton saw a rough cut of the film, he objected that editor Elena Maganini had included that very shot. But she told him, it's not fair. You guys have scene after scene of topless babes. This one's for us. McNaughton agreed, but still producer Stephen A. Jones asked his friend Baker permission to use that take. When I heard from Steve is that Kevin asked, how do I look? Steve said, you look fine. And so Kevin went, no problem. Bacon later commented on Total Film that I didn't think any more about it, so I was shocked, really shocked, when everyone kept going on about it after the release of the film. It really wasn't a big deal. That's just the camera putting on a few pounds. In 2015, Bacon shot a funny Free the Bacon PSA, encouraging more male actors to do full frontal movie scenes. He also stated that because he was a producer on the film, if he was to sue about the no nudity thing, he could have sued himself.
What I find interesting about that is, aren't there like underwear or socks?
I know he chose to go fully nude.
So he wanted Matt Dillon to see his penis anyway. So at least the world can see it too. Yeah, it was the go-to one for a hell of a long time. Mm-hmm. That was the male full frontal nudity. Yeah. Yeah, good for him. You know, it's just a penis at the end of the day. It is.
Neve Campbell, on the other hand, never appears naked in any sex scenes, even in the unrated version, because she was still in Party of Five at the time, and her contract forbade her from showing any real nudity, though it was all allowed to imply nudity by showing her bare back during the pool scene. Mm. Speaking of the pool scene, Neve Campbell said in an interview that she enjoyed kissing Denise Richards. It was fun, Campbell told Rolling Stone about the film's most famous scene. We just sort of went in and did it. Actually, we mixed margaritas and brought a bottle of wine in my trailer and got drunk first. Campbell wrote in her journal about the experience, okay, I'm going to make out with a girl for the first time in my life. It's so interesting that a lot of times you learn things about yourself and have new experiences when shooting a scene, because they're things you wouldn't normally do in your life. But Richards found it all very weird. Does Brandy Glanville agree with that? At one point during
allegedly,
at one point during Wild Things, we were shooting at night, and I just sat there and thought, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm half naked in a swimming pool. I'm making out with Neve Campbell. What am I doing here? If the rumours were anything to go by Denise Richards, it may have sparked something in you.
I was gonna say this might have been eye-opening. I mean, if you're gonna kiss a woman for the first time, I think you could do much worse than Neve Campbell or Denise Richards, two absolute beauties in this film.
Yeah.
Stunning.
So, Wild Things.
Wild Things.
We last discussed this on a podcast 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And since then, I think I have only grown to appreciate this even more. Mm-hmm. It is a fantastic satire on erotic thrillers. Very much a post-Scream take on erotic thrillers.
Yeah, actually.
We talk a lot about, on this podcast, about post-Scream cinema and its impact on teen films. I think it had a massive impact on this.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we have so many twists. I feel like that's the joke, is because you do get 1,000 twists in this film.
You do.
And I think that is the humour.
Yes.
Like, oh, here's another one, and here's another one, here's another one.
It's tongue-in-cheek. It's campy. It's some of its subject matter is a little iffy at times. I will say that. It's very 90s. I don't think a lot of the sexual assault dialogue would happen now. But I do think it is a teen erotic thriller.
It is.
And it is very much a play, like Gary said, on the erotic thriller genre. It is completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. And that's what makes it so wonderful and entertaining.
Yeah, it's incredibly clever very intelligent with what it does, and it's kind of Lynchian as well. I find within its soundtrack and the way these characters are depicted, it just kind of made me think of like Lost Highway and Mulholland Drive at times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that everything in this film is carefully calculated. I know it's easy to dismiss something like this as just trash, but I don't think it is.
But trash can be entertaining.
Yeah, but it's polished trash.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's got a great cast with great chemistry. It looks amazing. Like real Florida looks amazing, beautiful. And I think all of the cast are in on the joke.
Yeah.
They're all playing it to perfection because it's so tongue-in-cheek. They know what hits in the dialogue, what hits in the film itself, in the plot. They're all on board with it. Something like Nev Campbell and Denise Richards getting drunk beforehand, that actually makes it better.
Yeah.
Like, it makes them more liberated and able to go all the way.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of the queer stuff, unless I'm mistaken, I think the writer-director are both heterosexual men.
Right.
I think. But it plays into, and it makes me giggle, that whole two women getting it on for the male gaze kind of thing. And it's so ridiculous in it as well, because not only are they getting it on, they're getting it on after a fight. They're getting it on in a swimming pool. They're getting topless. They're being filmed whilst they're doing it. It's so silly and so gratuitous that I can't help but enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of those things where it could have been incredibly poor taste, but it's not, because there are good filmmakers making it.
Yeah.
And there are good actors acting it. But yeah, I just think it's so enjoyable.
That scene is the most popular thing about the film.
Yeah.
As much as you get to see Kevin's bacon, it's still that scene. That scene I knew about long before I watched it. Is Denise Richards and Nev Campbell making out in that swimming pool. That's what everyone knows Wild Things for. But what I like is it also balances it out with, I mean, let's be honest, how much it sexualizes Matt Dillon in places as well.
Oh, Matt Dillon looks so handsome in this film. So handsome. And also I think he has a little something to say about privilege. The film is very much about getting rich quick. Yeah. About the wealth divide. There's good and bad on both sides of the... Well, actually, I don't think there's a nice rich person in the film.
I don't think there's a nice person in the film. I feel like it's...
No, it's true, actually, because you kind of... You find yourself rooting for someone, and then the twist happens. You're like, oh, I'm not rooting for you. And then another twist happens. Like, oh, okay, maybe I misjudged you.
Yeah.
It keeps you on your toes. So maybe, actually, maybe the message is, oh, everyone's fucked up.
Yeah.
You might as well make out in a swimming pool. We're all fucked, so you might as well just get champagne poured on your tits.
Teresa Russell's a big standout here.
Oh, I love Teresa Russell. Again, she's someone who's definitely in on it. She knows that it's tongue-in-cheek. Yeah, she gives a great performance. She plays Denise Richards' mother, and she's great. Yeah, hell of a lot of fun. Could have done with maybe a little more of her, actually, in the film. Got her in the swimming pool. Not with her daughter, of course.
Well, yeah.
A different swimming pool.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all we can say about it without getting into spoiler territory.
This is the thing. When
we discussed it previously.
Yeah, when there's like 10 twists, and they happen fairly early on, I don't want to get into too many specifics. One thing I would definitely like to say Denise Richards' hair in this film is perfection.
Yeah.
Beautiful. She's always had phenomenal hair, Denise Richards. But in this film, it's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, it has an IMDb rating of 6.6 out of 10, a Letterboxd rating of 3.1 out of 5. On this latest rewatch, I give it 5 out of 5.
I give it 4.5 out of 5.
The soundtrack rating, again, I'm giving it this for the score. It's 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. That score, I think, is really good.
Yeah.
Perfectly sets the tone and gives it a very sort of, I think this is the word, Floridian feel.
Yeah, I mean, it has the erotic thriller saxophone. It's exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Best
song?
needle drop, Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind.
Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind.
Which is
Love that song.
Popping up a lot of times on this season.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yes, of course.
Fashion rating, I give it 8 out of 10.
I give it 8 out of 10. Very 90s, mostly casual. Denise Richards is a standout.
Yeah.
Again, her hair and makeup, phenomenal. I did enjoy Neve Campbell as the goth girl.
Yes.
As the, not the good girl. She's the goth girl in this one.
Coming back to The Craft.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Very famous goth girl in that one. But then this is real. This is her. This is somewhere between her character in The Craft and Fairuza Balk's character in The Craft. Somewhere in between. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, that's very... Yeah, even in personality as well.
She took a goth break for Scream.
She did.
Believable Teens.
No,
not even close.
Thank God, because it would have been really weird.
They were in their 20s, thankfully.
Yes.
Yeah. And going from chaotic bisexuals to a very chaotic gay, it's Get Real.
When you're not like everyone else, you have to be a fighter.
What do you know about my life?
And a dreamer.
So risky.
Life's a risk, Linz.
To make your life your own.
Hi, Kev. Well, join us if you like. No.
R-E-S-P-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-C-T, take F-T-C-T.
Get real.
Directed by Simon Shaw, written by Patrick Wilde, based on What's Wrong with Angry by Patrick Wilde. Starring Ben Silverstone, Brad Gorton, Charlotte Bretton and Jakarta May. And the premise is a tenderly romantic coming-of-age story as two boys in a British school fall in love. And that's right. We are going back to the UK for this one. So I think this, even though the focus of this season is on America and American teen films, a film like this comes up every now and then, and it still feels perfect for it because this feels like the British equivalent of American teen films at this time. That feels like the focus. There's even like a few things in the dialogue where I'm like, oh, okay, at this time. That feels like the focus. There's even like a few things in the dialogue where I'm like, oh, okay, you really wanted to reach an American audience with this, like referring to football or soccer. No one does that in the UK.
No.
But little things like that. But also grateful for this podcast and it forcing us to discover this film because this is great.
Yeah, I think I'd seen randomly the film in passing, and I genuinely thought it was an American film.
Yeah,
genuinely. And then we were like, okay, what films should we watch and to discuss? And obviously this one came up, and I had no idea it was British. I had no idea. So the previous British film we had spoken about was Beautiful Thing.
Yeah, and I think it's really easy to compare the two.
Yes.
I think it's an obvious comparison. But the two really couldn't be any more different.
Yeah, I think part of the reason we discussed Beautiful Thing, like Gary said, during a season that emphasizes American cinema, is because of how different it felt from American cinema. Now, it was very much, in many ways, a sexless film, Beautiful Thing. It was about love and about romance.
And family relationships.
Whereas this film, Get Real, is very much about sex.
Yeah.
Sex is a big subject in the film, which is more akin to the American sort of queer coming of age stories.
Especially means it focuses on school life as well, which, again, Beautiful Thing doesn't really do.
No.
But the one thing they both have in common is they're both films that I really wish I discovered when I was younger.
Yeah.
It's wild to think they've been around for so long and we've only just discovered them now. I thought this was really sweet. I thought it was really charming. The typical topics of coming out and secret relationships are here, of course. You know, a straight girl briefly gets her heart broken. It's everything you'd expect. But also, I feel like this film set a lot of things up. So, you look at something like Heartstopper, there's a lot it takes from this.
Yeah.
Alice Osman definitely watched this film.
Must have. Very similar.
And there's even a plot line that is in line with the plot for Love, Simon. You know? So I feel like this did have an impact on those who'd seen it and had gone on to make things following it. But, yeah, it's really interesting. The lead character, Stephen, the film has no interest in making us like him. This awful demon twin.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I feel like we were meant to like it. He was definitely a demon twink lead. Yeah.
He was so unlikable. He made awful decisions.
He did. He was definitely Carrie Bradshaw coded.
He was, yes.
Definitely Carrie Bradshaw coded.
Yeah. A lot of the acting feels like something straight out of a CBBC show. It's very Tracy Beaker.
Yes.
And like, yeah, just that sort of nothing behind the eyes delivery, which is very amusing. And I think it just adds to the charm of it, especially when you're familiar with shows like that, growing up with them and such. But the best performance of the film is actually Charlotte Britton as Stephen's cautious yet supportive best friend, Linda. She is hilarious. She has her own storylines as well, and she's great. She's, no matter who's on screen with her, she's always stealing scenes.
She is actually. She is. What I think my biggest takeaway from the film is just how refreshingly honest it is with its depiction of growing up gay, a gay sexual awakening, gay sexual coming out. Because it starts with cruising.
Yeah.
It starts with, let's be honest, a very noncy sort of cruising scene where this young lad in his school uniform, he's 16, is going cruising in a public toilet.
Yeah.
And there are older men that see him and say, oh, come on then, let's go. And, and he has sexual relations anonymous, with these random guys. And for many gay men who are closeted, that's, gay men, gay teens, that's kind of their way of experimenting because they can't be open and honest.
Especially in 1998.
Yeah, and it's not a healthy way of doing it. We're certainly not saying that. But it's definitely an honest depiction of that type of sexuality, which I found very refreshing. I also really enjoyed how the film speaks about the importance of a good support system. It is a romantic film, but I think for a lot of the film, the lead, his name's Stephen, isn't it? Yeah. What Stephen is looking for is acceptance. Rather than love, romance, happy ever after, Prince Charming, what he's looking for is acceptance. Acceptance from his peers, acceptance from his family, and just being able to be open and out. That's all he wants. And being able to say, I like men. Yeah. And that is who I am. And that's what I love so much, because so much of the film, yes, is about sex, and a lot of the humour comes from that as well, But what I really think the film is about is finding that support system. The kind of people who know you're gay and don't care.
Mm-hmm.
People who will defend you to those who seek to repress you.
Yeah.
And I think that, again, is refreshingly honest.
Yeah.
Because I think every queer person has felt like that at some times, where I could do with a support system, and even not just in our day-to-day lives, in the grand scheme of things, in the world.
Yeah.
Like, at this time in 1998, legally, Stephen's school teacher wouldn't have been allowed, thank you Margaret Thatcher, to be able to speak to him about him being gay.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that support system's not there.
Mm-hmm.
In, not being able to get married. It's not really that far removed from homosexuality being seen as a mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Around the world, to this day,
Yeah.
there is injustice, there is prejudice, and there is bigotry. And I just find it so refreshing that that's what the film is about.
Yeah.
That acceptance.
So progressive for 1998. It really is. And it just makes me happy to think that this existed back then. Because there wasn't much else like this out there.
I think as a film, though, I do think there are times where it goes a little around the houses. I just think it becomes a little repetitive.
I mean, it's incredibly melodramatic.
Yeah, and I think the central romance love story, to me, maybe wasn't the most interesting part.
Yeah.
That felt a little repetitive, but there's so much that I enjoyed in the film. Yeah. Definitely.
Well, it has a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb, which is the highest rated film on this episode.
That is, I mean, earned, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's surprisingly high.
Letterboxd rating 3.5 out of 5, which is joint first with the next film for the highest rated film of the episode on Letterboxd. I gave it 4 out of 5.
I gave it 4 out of 5.
Soundtrack, I give it 9 out of 10. Played that funky music, White Boy didn't really need to be in there. But the best song for me was Respect by Aretha Franklin.
Good choice. I give it 9 out of 10. I like the music. I do question why, because like any good teen movie, there is a prom dance party going on. I do wonder why a teenager was DJing in 1998.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a teacher, it was one of the school kids. And again, play that funky music. And You Are So Beautiful were playing. Very dated.
I was at school disco in 1998. Let me tell you now, Bewitched and Steps are being
Absolutely.
played. It
Not one
wasn't.
person did the Macarena at that dance. And my favourite song was In Betweener by Sleeper.
Fashion rating is 4 out of 10 for me.
4 out of 10, yes.
Believable teens. It is a mixed bag. Stephen's believable.
Yeah.
But his love interest, he looks about 20 years older.
Yeah, so the actor who played him, Brad Gorton, was 24.
Wow.
And looked 24.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fashion was really bad. As somebody who would have worn these clothes in 1998, it was bad.
Yeah.
I do one thing, and this is gonna sound maybe a bit harsh, but his friend, when she gets herself dolled up, and she's going to see her lover.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, for 1998, she was like, "Ooh, yeah." Everyone was like, "Ooh, aren't you dressed up?" But she looked terrible.
She did.
Yeah, some things are best kept in the past.
I mean, not as bad as Stephen, who constantly dresses like his mum buys clothes for him.
That's true.
And the most ridiculous oversized shirts.
But then, obviously, the school uniform is like the most prominent sort of fashion. So it's like, okay, it's just a school uniform.
Okay, and for the final film of our highlights, Mary, it's Pecker.
Pecker,
My name is Pecker.
Pecker is a small-town boy with big-time talent.
I'd love to give you a show in my New York gallery.
And now the New York art world can't get enough Pecker. But Pecker's had it with overexposure.
I don't want to be in Vogue. Everybody wants to be in Vogue.
Edward Furlong and Christina Ricci in the new film directed by John Waters.
Supermodel!
Pecker.
Now playing at select theaters.
Written and directed by John Waters, starring Edward Furlong, Christina Ricci again, Bess Armstrong, Mary Kay Place, and the premise is a talented young photographer who enjoys snapping photos of his satirical, perverted Baltimore neighborhood and his wacky family gets dragged into a world of pretentious artists from New York and finds newfound fame. Christina Ricci's back.
She is.
She wasn't gone for long. And in a magazine interview done at the time of the film's release, she said that she hated Baltimore, John Waters' beloved hometown, and the main setting of the film. When he found out about this, Waters thought it was hilarious, because Ricci also hated laundromats, and her character is a workaholic laundromat manager, because she'd often had to go to them as a child, so it led to a hatred. So, I mean, her moody demeanour throughout is accurate.
Yeah. Yes.
So John Waters, obviously one of our favourite filmmakers of all time. This is, I guess, Hairspray was a teen film.
Yes.
This is Crybaby was a teen film.
Yeah.
This is another shot of teen films from him, and it is hilarious.
Yeah, John Waters is definitely someone who has, I think, for a lot of his films, showcased his own teen years.
Yeah.
I think a lot of his films have a very 50s film, particularly the soundtracks. And I think so much of his films sort of him maybe having a nostalgia for his teen years.
Yeah.
And I think potentially this one does it the most, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It is very 90s, but what it's about is, I think it's a comfort film. Definitely a comfort film. But I think it's a film that celebrates small town quirkiness.
Yeah.
And what it celebrates is the kind of Baltimore, really, that John Waters grew up in as a child and as a teen. And I think what you could maybe see in Pecker, the main character, is John Waters as a teen.
Mm-hmm.
And how his lowbrow art, or what was perceived as lowbrow art, was made to be highbrow by a lot of the New York art scene. And it definitely satirizes the New York art scene.
Yeah.
To hilarity.
Yeah, this film is a satire through and through.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a satire of the price of fame and the world of art, and especially through New York lens. And yeah, it has some of the best gags in any of his films, especially the gag between Pecker's grandmother and Mary.
Yes.
A statue of the Virgin Mary that speaks throughout. But also Pecker's sister and the gay bar she works in as well.
Yes. Yeah. His sister, played perfectly by Martha Plimpton, is such a fan of gay men.
Yes.
She calls everyone Mary. She can spot a gay from a mile off. And yeah, she's so good. I do like little Chrissy, and her sugar addiction.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious. But I like how the film it lands somewhere between Hairspray and Waters' more adult earlier work.
Yeah,
so
it's a
somewhere
great blend
between Pink Flamingos and Hairspray, because it is a family film. It's a film about family. It's a film about how just because you're working class doesn't mean that you're less worthy or less interesting. Just because you're a little off doesn't mean you're not a good person. And I think that's kind of what all his films are about. It's sticking up for the weirdos. But it's a family film, but with teabagging and close-ups of pubic hair. Which, I mean, if you know my taste, you know I love that shit. It's John Waters at his best. But then also, I think every film is John Waters.
That is true. That is true. He is definitely a director who hasn't made a bad film. I think Edward Furlong is great in the lead role, and Christina Ricci, yet again, is fantastic. Lily Taylor does a great job. It's such a great cast, and we even, obviously, with it being a John Waters film, we do get Mink Stole as well.
Yes.
In a great role in voting booths near the end of the film.
We also get a regular, forgive me, I can't remember her name, embarrassing. But she plays the homophobic woman in the cafe, in the restaurant.
Is that?
That was Mary Vivian Pearce.
Yeah.
She plays the homophobic lady. So she was in so many of John Waters' films.
Yeah.
I think she's still with us, I believe.
I think so.
Cindy Sherman plays herself, which I love. She's very much one of the art elites in New York.
It does feel like the ones that aren't John Waters regulars, it feels like they are people who by this point are aware of him and his films and actually wanted to be in this film.
Yeah.
Wanted to work with him.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't say a lot. It is queer because it's John Waters.
And yeah, I mean, the gay bar is a big part of
the film. The gay bar is a big part of the film, but it doesn't talk about queer teens. You know, it's not a queer teen romance.
No, because everyone's automatically, apart from the homophobe in the cafe, everyone's accepted by everyone.
Yes. Yeah, it's another film about acceptance, actually. It's about accepting people's foibles and their wackiness and their differences and not being judgmental.
Yeah.
Pecker obviously knows that his grandmother is a spoiler alert, making up the whole Mary talking thing, and it's actually her talking, but he never judges her for it, and if it's not harming anyone, then just let her be.
Yeah.
You know? And it's about family and what the weird things that bring everyone together, closer together.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, and that's why it's such a comfort film.
Well, it has an IMDb rating of 6.3 out of 10, Letterboxd rating of 3.5 out of 5, 5 out of 5 from me.
5 out of 5 from me.
Soundtrack rating, I give it 8 out of 10.
I give it 10 out of 10.
That's a very good score.
Yeah.
The best song is Happy Go Lucky Me.
Happy Go Lucky Me by Paul Evans.
Which is the theme song.
Yeah, it's such a fun and quintessentially Waters soundtrack.
Yeah.
It sort of references the 50s and the 60s of his childhood, and I love that he always brings a bit of his personality to every single one of his films.
Yeah.
It never feels like he's doing anything for the purpose of it or because he wants to he's doing it for a particular audience or he wants to make money. He's definitely a grassroots kind of filmmaker who makes films because he wants to, and he wants to be creative, and he brings part of himself to everything that he does.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
It's never commercial. It's not for everyone.
No.
It is not for everyone, but it's definitely for me.
Fashion rating, I give it 6 out of 10.
I give it 5 out of 10. It's casual stuff.
Yeah. Believable teens, yes.
Yes. Edward Furlong was slightly older. As said before, Christina Ricci was a teen at the time.
Yeah.
But Edward Furlong is someone who always looks kind of younger anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely believable teens.
And for our honourable mentions, or should I say dishonourable mention,
Ooh, for one, yeah.
Can't Hardly Wait.
Ooh.
This was going to be a highlight until we watched it. And really, there's not a lot to say about it, other than the fact that it definitely spawned what would be the pop-punk teen party films where being gay, misogyny, and having sex are the funniest things.
Yeah.
So it fits very well with this queer episode because it's the complete opposite. It's massively, the humour's kind of homophobic.
It is. The F slur is used numerous times for comedic effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's never used to offend anyone. It's used to embarrass people, and people laugh, and it's someone that deserves to be embarrassed. So it's kind of suggesting that the F slur is a suitable insult for people that you don't like, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
I think the film is messy as fuck.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have a plot. I don't find any of the characters interesting. I did like Jennifer Love Hewitt's performance.
Yeah.
I did. I really enjoyed the needle drops, the soundtrack.
Yeah, the best part
very
of that
98, very much the best part of the film. But ultimately, incredibly disappointing. Incredibly, just because I had quite high hopes because I'd heard of the film for a hell of a long time. I enjoyed a lot of the actors in the film. I mean, you could play teen star bingo with this one. The amount of cameos and famous faces. You spend half the time going, what do I know them from?
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's Jamie Presley. Oh, look, it's Jason Segel, you know. But in terms of enjoyment, that's about it.
Boring.
It is kind of boring as well. It is kind of boring. Yeah, it's... And ultimately, and I don't... Obviously, everything is a sign of the times and such, but the film really genuinely felt homophobic.
Yeah.
It really did, because there were no queer characters.
No.
Just the F slur.
Yeah.
Very disappointing.
Yeah. And another honourable mention is Edge of 17, which is very much on theme with the episode, because it's very gay. It is a gay coming-of-age story set in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's good. It's a little boring in places. The lead character very much suffers from demon twink energy, like in Get Real.
Yes.
But aside from that, it's actually a good film.
I think it's a film that I'm glad was made.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Because obviously we need more gay films.
Mm-hmm.
We need more gay films made by queer filmmakers, talking about the queer experience, talking about coming of age. And I think it's definitely a film that many queer kids could watch and be like, oh wow, you know, this helps me. I do think it was quite boring at times. I wasn't really invested massively in the characters. That soundtrack though, whew, so good. Not a spoiler, but maybe. It does not feature the song Edge of 17.
It does not, which is very surprising.
The legendary Stevie Nicks.
They had a massive budget for
huge
for
budget
needle drops in this film.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm very surprised they didn't go there and use that song.
Yeah, but I would recommend to people, kind of, you know. But I do, it feels
fun.
by the book though. It's just play by book, you know.
I mean, by the book, when considering films that have been released after it.
That is true.
Which is interesting.
That is true.
Not to say that it inspired anything, but you know. But yeah, those are honourable mentions, and that is the first part of 1998. You can find us on all social media on Instagram actually, very specifically, by searching Rise of the Gay Cinephiles. And if you go give us a rate, review and subscribe wherever you listen to this, we'd be very grateful. Next time, in 2 weeks, we will be delving into the second half of 1998. And we'll be talking about Small Soldiers, Halloween H2O, Rushmore, SLC Punk, The Faculty, Disturbing Behaviour, Pleasantville, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and Urban Legend.
Yes. Yeah, we're definitely getting our post-Scream horror films in abundance, so that'll be very exciting to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, jam-packed year 1998.
It is.
And then straight stuff.
Well, yeah, and then after that we'll be getting into an even more jam-packed year with 1999, which is also going to be a two-parter. But yes, in the meantime, we'll be back at the same time, same place with more 90s in 2 weeks' time.
Bye.